Hello and welcome to the first update of my weekly student teaching video blog. On this video blog you will find weekly updates of my reflections and critical thoughts on my own lesson plans and my own teaching throughout my week at Bridgewater Raritan High School, as well as just general philosophical quandaries I may have and run into during my practical approach with the high schoolers in their everyday classes. For this first update, I will start with the first week I attended Bridgewater Raritan, my introduction to the students, as well as my observations for all of the choral classes, as well as some of the other musical classes within the music program. To start off, here's a little background information about the high school. It is the only high school in either Bridgewater or Raritan, so it has a very high population, about 2,900 students, which is huge by any standards that I've seen for a high school. The facilities are absolutely wonderful. It's in a great area. As far as the student population is concerned, it's pretty homogeneous. I would say it's about maybe 94% Caucasian, with the highest minority being Asian Americans, with very few African American and Hispanics within the school's populace. The first day was a professional day for myself, and it was interesting finally being behind the scenes as a teacher in the professional day rather than having the day off as a student. We were addressed by not only the superintendent of schools, but also several of the union presidents and the principal. And a huge theme, besides your general power school training and that sort of regular updates for teachers, was that of the education debacle currently in New Jersey with Governor Christie. Um, the issue of teachers suddenly being vilified in the eyes of the state now because of the budget crisis was kind of a tender issue for the teachers within the high school, simply because there were colleagues who lost jobs. It's an attack on their profession and their passion, and it directly affects their future as well as the future of their students. So there's a lot of emotionally charged discussion about the unfortunate events of last year, but also on how we as teachers can step up and not only defend ourselves for the sake of our students, but also continue to progress to become better teachers despite the political situation that we are in. Um, Besides that, I was introduced into the music program of the school. The school is known, perhaps mostly from the music standpoint, for their marching band. Uh, Under their two directors, the marching band has won countless amount of awards, and almost all of their championship seasons up for the past couple of years with the marching band. There's an honors wind ensemble, as well as a marching band who was phenomenal, um, and several other instrumental groups. And there's a very high standard for being in any of these groups. Um, the problem that my co-op teacher, Mr. Wilson, has run into is that because band is the forefront in the music program, choir and the choral groups kind of take a back seat to that. So for him this year, recruitment is the biggest issue and the biggest goal for his choirs. And thus he's done something which I admire, because he has gone out of his comfort zone of classical music and has added more pop, theater, and jazz into his repertoire, and has even gone so far as to create, for the first time in the school's history, a glee club, which is open to anybody, as well as schedule a cabaret performance where the glee club and all the other choirs will be doing large ensemble, small ensemble, and solo pieces of pop, theater, and jazz repertoire. Um, Another issue in the choral department that we seem to be heading into is the fact that because we have a slew of new recruits going into the choirs, there is a huge gap in content knowledge between the few kids, holdovers from the choirs previous, who have been in AP theory classes before, who have taken band, who have taken orchestra classes, and those who are brand new and can't read a lick of sheet music, which I think I may be able to use some peer-to-peer teaching in order to adjust that, which is one of my goals for this upcoming week when I will be teaching warm-ups to the various during school choirs. Um, I also will have the opportunity to work with the AP Music Theory class under the supervision of the orchestra teacher, and I may actually have the chance of conducting the wind ensemble I mentioned before, which I think will be great for me because unfortunately here at Westminster we don't have that practical experience of instrumental conducting as much as we do choral. And I want to prove that I'm not only a choral person, but that my skills and my philosophies translate to various contexts within my profession. Um, the challenges I see for myself, one is this is my first experience with high school choral singers. And just from an instance of planning, um, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult transition, but a challenge that will optimize my teaching abilities, translating from the general music plan and execution to one of in a choral setting, especially within the tenets of critical pedagogy and and reciprocal teaching. So those are my challenges, my goals for the semester. I'm really looking forward to working with the students as well as Mr. Wilson, Mr. Lalamila, and the band directors. And I hope to keep you clued in on what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks. So enjoy.